life of just super organization, but not everyone has that skill set.
Mhm.
And that over the years, I've been doing this almost 20 years now, it's become so apparent to me that we are living in an organized society, and women that are not organized feel almost like second-class citizens. And
Shame
that,
too. Shame, right? They're
exactly.
ashamed.
And that breaks my heart.
Hi, and welcome to Beyond Empty Nest. I'm your host, Jody Silverman, speaker, mentor, and Chief Dare Officer at Moms Who Dare. Every Thursday, I'll share stories of midlife transformation, happiness tips, and dare you to see the opportunities waiting for you so that you can make this next chapter even better than the last. If you're ready to dare, I'm ready to dare with you. Let's get into today's episode. Welcome to Beyond the Empty Nest, the podcast for midlife women navigating life's transitions with resilience, growth, and purpose. I'm your host, Jody Silverman. Today's episode is all about getting organized because let's face it, clutter isn't just in our homes, it's in our minds too. We're diving into three powerful takeaways, uncovering what's really holding you back from getting organized, tackling the ever elusive task of getting your adult kids to claim their stuff, and exploring how starting a business as an empty nester can bring clarity, purpose, and joy to your life. If you're ready to declutter your space, your mind, and maybe even your goals, stick around. This conversation is for you. Today's guest is British-born Janet Bernstein, owner of the Organizing Professionals, Philadelphia's largest team of professional organizers and move managers. With multiple Best of Philly and Best of Mainline awards, Janet brings a wealth of expertise to getting life and spaces organized. A University of Pennsylvania grad who's lived in 5 countries, speaks 3 languages, Janet's here to share tips for simplifying your life and reclaiming your space. Welcome to Beyond Empty Nest, Janet.
Hey, Jody, I'm so excited to be here.
I am too. I am too, because I don't think you can ever have too many conversations about organization.
Well, yeah, definitely not. That's definitely true.
I mean, I'm going to throw this question out to whoever's listening to either click the link at the top of our show notes, which is to leave me a comment or reach out to me. How many audience members right now that are listening have ever hired a professional organizer or not, stuck with it for a little bit, and then life got challenging, life got in the way, and things just derailed, right? I think you find that frequently. And that's why I wanted to bring you on, because I know that when I've hired a professional organizer in the past, the system stuck with me versus me
Good.
trying
Oh,
to
I'm
do it
so
myself.
thrilled to hear that. That's great.
Most of the time, most of the
Yeah.
time. I'm not going to say I didn't derail certain things, but I think when you have somebody like yourself, Janet, that is, I mean, you're an organizer for a reason. You're a systems person. You get
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Before we dive into our topic, which is, get organized for life, can you share a little backstory of how you came to be a professional organizer and built this amazing company?
Yeah, absolutely. So, like a lot of your followers, I was a stay-at-home mom for about 20 years, although my experience was a little bit different because in those 20 years, we lived 9 of those years in Russia and Kazakhstan.
Oh, wow.
So a little bit, it was a little bit different. When we came back, we lived in New York City for 3 years, and this was the early 2000s. And I had a friend who told me that professional organizing was a thing. I'd never really heard that it could be a career, but it appealed to me for several reasons. One is I've been traveling a lot, I've been moving a lot with kids in tow, so I got really good at moving and living with less, obviously. And I was looking for something that I could do that wasn't going back into corporate America.
Yeah.
So I thought, I'll give this a whirl. Why not? And I got very lucky. I put myself on my kids' school silent auction, and this is in Manhattan. And I offered up, I think, about 4 hours of, professional organizing time. The winning bidder was a Park Avenue socialite, and she was my first client.
Wow.
So that was helpful, obviously, and we hit it off really well. I helped her organize her Park Avenue apartment. Then she moved to a larger one, and I helped her pack and unpack and set up that one. And I loved it. It met a need in me, which is loving to help people. And I have this organized skill set. And so a business was born.
I love that story. And for those of you that are just listening, I'm sure you can see the light and the shine and the glow as Janet just said that. And if you're not, go watch it because your whole face lit up when you
Really?
said that. And well, that means you love what you do. It's well,
Oh,
obviously you do because
I
you've built
do.
this amazing company. So I what I love most about that story, so much about it, is that when your friend mentioned that professional organizing was a thing, you recognized the skill set you had from your own life experience of moving with kids
Right.
in tow, which is you need to be organized with that.
Yeah.
You need to be organized. So and I've always been amazed with organizers because I really get jumbled up when it comes to systems in my head. And packing, and I started making a checklist because I've been doing many little travel trips, like long 4 days. So I made myself a checklist,
Hmm.
and I feel like for the first time, I'm like really organized in what I want to do. So thank you for sharing your story.
Yeah, of course. Checklist rule. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I love that because that really, and we'll get more into it, but you started this when your children were younger, right? You
I
said,
did. They were in their teens. Yeah, teens or 12, 13. Yeah,
see, but I love that too, because I talk a lot about, we talk about starting a business as an empty nester and how it can be the most rewarding thing you've ever done. You
right.
started this business and you could choose to do as many or as few, take on as many or as few organizing clients, and yet it's something that could build as your children started to spread their wings and you notice that time that you would have and space in your life.
Absolutely. That was a big key to me. And today we have 15 employees, and it meets a need for a lot of women who don't necessarily want to start their own business, but would like to have control over their schedules. And so we make that possible, that's a massive bonus for me.
I love that. I love that. That's one of the biggest dares I put out there when I speak to audiences that are a little bit younger demographic who have kids that haven't left high school yet, whether the high school, middle school, or even elementary school. Find something that you like and just
Yeah.
dabble in it if you want to.
Yes, definitely.
Dabble in it, investigate it, and just do it a little bit so that when the kids do leave, you're still going to be left with the, oh my gosh, they're gone. And yet the now what is already there. You have
Right.
this
Yeah.
hobby or side gig that you can say, well, I want to put more time into that. So I
Right.
love that. I love
Yeah,
that.
definitely.
All right.
Yeah.
So, okay,
Find
we're
your
done.
purpose. Absolutely
Yes.
key.
Yeah. Just try things.
Yeah,
And like your friend, you didn't even know it was a thing. And here it is.
exactly.
So pay attention. Pay attention. You know what? You just made me think sidebar before we're going to get into, you're going to identify the reasons that are preventing us from getting organized. Um, I interviewed a long time ago before this show, I had another show, and they said, oh my God, I just lost my thought. Menopause. I'm just saying organized menopause. What really? Is that really happening to me right here in the middle of an interview? All right, I'm not even
That's
gonna,
you.
I'm on, what was I saying? This is what I'm saying. This is like menopause. This is real midlife stuff. I'm not even going to edit this out. We're going to continue and I'm going to come back to it. I'm going to come back to it. Wow. All right. And for this reason, because we keep it real here, I'm keeping this in.
I
All right.
love it.
Let's start by identifying some reasons that might be preventing our audience members from getting organized.
Mhm. So I think there are five main reasons.
Okay.
And let's go through them. All right.
Yeah.
So procrastination, right? That to me, that's number one. If organizing is not your thing, and let's face it, it's not everyone's thing. Hard for me to understand, but it's not everyone's thing. Procrastination, there's always something that's gonna come along that's way more interesting, right? So that's a big thing. And we're so great at procrastinating in so many areas of our lives. And this is just another thing. So if you just hate getting organized or don't know how to, you're going to procrastinate, right?
Yeah.
So that's number one. Number two would be unrealistic expectations.
Oh, big one.
Yeah. I mean, just thinking, well, in so many ways, unrealistic expectations. You may think, oh, my closet is a mess. I can fix that in an hour. And then you pull everything out, and by the time you've pulled everything out, that's an hour. And then all of a sudden you've got to fly on to the next thing, and you don't have time to put it back in an organized manner, so you shove it all back in. Unrealistic expectations, right? Not
Absolutely.
helpful. Perfectionism.
Ah,
Perfectionism, the fear of not doing something perfectly.
that is a big, big, big thing with women. I know men too. Oh
Yes.
my God. Yes.
And so I will say to a lot of our clients, it doesn't, perfection, you don't need perfectionism. You just need to get organized that's good enough for you. Don't look at the magazine or the Instagram of
Ah,
whatever, matching containers or whatever. Hey, we can do that and we love to do that, but you just need to get organized enough for yourself and your family. So eliminate the perfectionism right there. Feeling overwhelmed. That
mm,
is a huge one. We'll get so many calls from especially women who will say, I am so overwhelmed. I don't know where to begin. I'm looking at my entire house and it's just top to bottom. It's a mess. It's chaos. And so those feelings are paralyzing. When you feel overwhelmed, you're paralyzed, and so you just give up before you've even begun. So feeling overwhelmed is real. And I always tell my clients, just, imagine put on blinders. So you don't want to look and focus on the entire house or
right.
even particularly one area or one room. Maybe it's just too much. Just focus, identify a small area. It could even just be a kitchen drawer, a junk drawer. Start small, focus small, and then you get some motivation and you can continue and expand. So be careful with those feelings of overwhelm. Just take one baby steps, right? Take
Yeah.
one step.
Everything in life is baby steps.
It is. It
Everything.
so is, absolutely.
Everything.
And then finally, no plan or strategy.
Ah, I like that. Okay.
Because if you don't have a plan of where things are going to go once you've organized, then what are you doing? You're perpetuating the chaos. So maybe you've done some decluttering, but you don't have the strategy in place of where to put things afterwards. You need a strategy.
I love all that. I have to say, what came to mind, and I'm remembering what I was thinking now. What came to mind when you were saying the five, the procrastination, unrealistic expectations, perfectionism, overwhelm, and no plan.
Mhm.
Two, three, four, and five can all lead up to that procrastination.
Oh yeah,
They can all like
I should
that
have
could
put that
be
one at the bottom,
that could
maybe.
be no, no, no. It's the overarching one. Um, you're right. All three, all five of them are big. I was, and you trigger my thought when I started cleaning out my closet last year. I really wanted to organize my closet. And you know what? It was the first time I didn't empty the whole thing. I said, today I'm doing my shoes.
Good.
Tomorrow I'm doing the long hanging stuff,
Yeah.
and
How did that work out for you then?
it worked out great. I got through the whole closet. I just tackled
Nice.
one section. One section
Yes.
was I'm just doing all my sweatpants that sit on a shelf. I'm like
Yeah.
that. But
Good for you.
yeah, no, I like that. I'm learning. I'm paying attention to people like you, Janet, and trying. I mean, believe me, I could still use some help. So I love that. Okay, so moving, well, the other thing I want to say is the unrealistic expectations. My whole mantra for 2025 is be daring, not perfect.
Yeah. Oh, perfect. I love it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
be
Absolutely.
daring, not perfect. And I love that because perfectionism can really lead to complete paralysis.
Yeah. Gets in
And
the
really,
way of the
what is
vision.
perfect anyway? It's different, but I like how you say don't look at the pictures online. That's why I like before and after because like you can see, okay, oh yeah, she was just like me. I can achieve that. If she can, I can. But
Yeah.
maybe that's too perfect for you. So I love that. I love all five reasons. All right. So that's what's preventing us from getting organized.
Mhm.
Um, so I mean, like, what's the first step?
Mm.
Besides calling you, of course, and your team. But like when and because I kind of want before I get to how to get your adult kids to take the stuff because that's a big one, and I've
Mhm.
had this conversation before, so I love bringing this to the table. When somebody calls you, the
Yeah.
organizing professionals, what's share the process a little bit so people, so the listeners out there can see that this is possible, that it doesn't have to be daunting when you have somebody on your side.
Right. Well, for our company, we offer a 1 hour consultation. So we're coming in and we're meeting the client. We don't charge for that. It's basically like, do we think we're a good fit for you, and vice versa. And one of our core values is non-judgment. We're not judgmental. And that I think is a major key. There's so many people that will say to us, "Am I the worst you've ever seen?" And no
Oh,
one ever is, but there's this feeling and even stigma with especially a lot of women that we're supposed to live in this like life of just super organization, but not everyone has that skill set.
mhm.
And that over the years, I've been doing this almost 20 years now, it's become so apparent to me that we are living in an organized society, and women that are not organized feel almost like second-class citizens. And
Shame
that
too. Shame, right? They're
Exactly.
shamed.
And that breaks my heart because I will always say, you have skills that and talents that I will never have.
Right.
So it's just a different skill set. So,
Yeah.
and I think it's wonderful if you have the opportunity to hire someone and bring someone in that can help you and support you
Yeah.
in the challenging areas that you have, and vice versa, right? So I will do the same thing. So that's our first thing, is just really assuring and reassuring our clients that, hey, there's no judgment here. We've seen absolutely everything. We are here to help you. We're passionate about helping you.
Yeah. I like
And
that.
then I will say, well, what's the main pain point? And it's usually one area. It could be the closet, it could be the kitchen, it could be the garage, it could be absolutely anything. And so we'll take a look at that, and then we'll go through some strategies.
Okay.
But if I'm not working with a client, if I'm doing a presentation on getting organized, I am a massive believer in pacing yourself. And
Okay.
this to me is the absolute key to getting organized, especially for people that don't like organization or getting organized, right? So it can be as simple as, let's just say, 30 minutes, 4 days a week. 30 minutes, you can do anything for 30 minutes,
I
right?
know. I love that. I love that phrase. I had a workout instructor when I used to do spinning, and she said, just 1 minute, you could do anything for a minute. Yes, you can do anything
Exactly.
for 30 minutes. Yes.
You do anything for 30 minutes, but those 30 minutes add up, right?
Yeah.
If you do 30 minutes of decluttering a space a week, that's 2 hours. Now, if
Yeah.
you do that, if you do that for a month, you just gave yourself 8 hours.
Wow.
8 hours of getting organized that you would never, ever have designated or set aside that time. First of all, you probably pull your hair out. You would never do it because it's overwhelming. But if you do things in small, manageable, bite-sized pieces, it's way more attainable. And it gives you the motivation to look what I did, to keep on
Yes.
going.
Nope. And that goes back to the very beginning. You said it's, you hear all these quotes, life's a journey, it's a marathon, it's not a sprint.
Mhm.
It's everything, every conversation I have, whether it's about professional organizing, whether it's about getting your healthy back and change your health and wellness up, whether it's about embracing spirituality and mindfulness practices. It's everybody says the same thing. Start small. Start small because that
Yeah,
small is huge for you,
right.
right? Start small. So I love the bite-sized pieces.
Hmm.
And I like because it allows you to experience, like you said, a win and like, I might
Hmm.
not like it, but I'm able to do this and getting support is
Exactly. Yeah.
right. Let's talk about our adult kids stuff. Let's talk about that because I mean, yeah, I'm not going to share my story, but I still have some, but I got rid of a lot. What is your strategy? What is your takeaway? What are your as advice for those of us that have I have friends that saved all the baby clothes from their kids because for the grandkids.
Oh,
And
right.
I thought, I'm buying my grandkids all new.
I've met people like
I'm like,
that.
that's okay. That's okay. That's what you want to do. I'm like, no. I got rid of the clothes. I donated every step of the way. So
Yeah.
how do we get rid of our adult kids stuff?
Well, I've got a lot to say on this matter, but I will
Good.
share my own personal win that happened last year. It could have been 2 years ago now. So my daughter finally moved out. Like everyone's daughters or kids, adult kids, they moved back in during COVID. Finally, we got rid of her. last about a year ago or 2 years ago. I'm losing track of time. And we were renovating our primary bedroom and bathroom. So we needed to move out of our bedroom and move into another bedroom. And we needed to move into my daughter's former bedroom. However, she'd been gone 9 months, but it still looked like she lived there. It was all still there. Fortunately for me, my birthday was coming around the corner. And so this is what I said. I said, Ariana, I don't want anything for my birthday. All I want is the gift of your time to come round and go through your things that
I'm
I've
writing that
tried.
down. I'm writing that down. A gift of your time. Come on. You're
She
brilliant.
didn't say no. There is no way you can say no to your mom on that. There's just no way, right?
Oh,
So, and it was perfect. It happened to me. My birthday's in September, so she had a day. It was Labor Day. She came over. And of course, I was helping, but we got through the entire room. We had donation bags, we had trash bags, we had shredding bags. And we went through methodically, started in one corner, as I do with my clients. We went through the entire room in a perimeter, and everything, either things she took with her. We had big bins for memorabilia. Should she want to keep some of those things, I put them up in the attic, or she took them with her. And we emptied out the entire room, and it's now our guest room. And I've never actually had a guest room before. It looks all guesty.
wow.
So, on one hand, she was, I think, sad that her childhood bedroom is no longer her bedroom. But for goodness sake, the kid's like 27 years old now, and it was time.
Yes. Yes. Well, okay. So this timing could not be more perfect as we're recording this because my son's room is complete. It's not, we're getting ready to redo upstairs, rip up
Yeah.
carpet. Our dog is no longer, and it's time to get rid of the carpet and paint, and everything's coming off the walls in their bedrooms. Like, I want everything done.
Hmm.
My son's room is finished. He came home one day. I said, "Can you please go upstairs and
Hmm.
just do XYZ?" And he did. And then what was ever left, I texted him, "Are you home today?" He said, "Yes, I'm going through. I have to empty your closet. I'm going to take pictures of stuff. I just need a yes or a no."
Right.
But my daughter's room has so much more. And she comes back and she stays there a lot, and that's okay.
Hmm.
But you just gave me my strategy. I'm going
Hmm.
to ask her to give me the gift of her time. I think that's so brilliant as a mother to phrase like that. But so, and here, I want to add to this. So I love that because she has a very small apartment. She lives in Washington, D.C.
Hmm.
I'm happy to pack things up and store it in the basement for her. We have
Exactly.
a whole basement. I'm happy until the day we move. If I can store for her, that's
Hmm.
the other clutter though, a lot of parents in empty nest, and we had it too, are boxes from their school days, boxes from the school days, and things that we think that we don't want to get rid of, like that book
Hmm.
that they give you at the end of every year at the end of
Yeah.
kindergarten that has all their writing samples. And you know what I discovered, Janet? My kids don't want it.
No, they rarely do, unless you have a child that's quite sentimental, and some people do, and again, nothing wrong with that. The average kid does not want their stuff.
They don't want it. And when
They
I found that
don't
out,
want it.
my husband and I were able to, in our basement, throw out and get rid of a lot of stuff. And I just
Yeah.
put two boxes for each child, like small boxes though,
Yeah.
with things that I wasn't sure if they really would want or not. And when I move, I'll just ask them. But
Yeah.
I think we hold on to it for ourselves.
Because it's our memories too, right?
Ah, it
I
is
will say,
very
if you
rare.
are going to store things for memories, don't use cardboard boxes because they're going to disintegrate. They're going to get dust in them. Invest in some good watertight clear bins, because then they will last years. Nothing's getting in them. If God forbid you have a flood or anything else, they're going to be protected. And for me, I label them on two sides and the top. So because we have a lot of stuff in our attic, and then I can just peek up there and it's easy for me to identify it.
I
Two
like the idea of the
sides
clear.
and the top.
We have a lot of those, the big Rubbermaid that are, and I have to open them to see if I don't have a label on the outside.
Yeah. And then clear is also a great identifier.
Yeah.
Don't use
No, I love
a
that.
non-clear top.
Okay, so that's my to that's my my to-do list to get. I have most stuff is in waterproof
Yeah.
containers
Good for you.
that have a label, but a lot isn't still. And you're
Yeah.
right, it does
Yeah.
get destroyed. So I love that. All right. So I love your tip on what you did on how to get kids to take their stuff. And hey, when all else fails, tough love to you. If you're not going to come, I'm going to get rid of it all.
Yeah, that's that. When that's the other tactic as well. And then the other thing is because I have a daughter who lives in, a shoe size in New York City as well. And for her, I will do FaceTime
Yeah.
calls. Do you
Yeah.
still have this? And that works well. Give me 10 minutes on FaceTime.
Right.
Fine.
Yeah. And
But
like
don't
my
say
son,
don't say I'm going to call you up and go through the entire room. They'll go, I don't
no,
have
no,
time.
no, no, no. Well, like that's what I did
10
with my
minutes.
son. I said, "Are you home? I'm going through the rest of the stuff in your closet. And I know you don't want any of the clothes, but I just want to make sure." And I took there were like four baseball caps. I put them. I took a picture. I go, "What?
Mhm.
Which ones do you want?" He said, "None." I'm like, "Oh, donate." Like it was
Ah,
beautiful. So I
yeah,
like that. So if you
exactly.
have to FaceTime, FaceTime. But that was
Mhm.
the key, though. You said, don't ask them to sit there for hours at a time and do their whole room.
No.
Right.
No.
I like that.
And if
Okay.
you are going to do the gift of time strategy like I do, volunteer maybe to make it a collaborative effort, and which
Yeah.
is kind of fun too.
And for
However,
my
it's
adult,
not it's not going to work if you yourself are quite sentimental, because I've seen this, and
no.
you'll go, "Really? You're not keeping that?" And the poor kid is like, "Oh, in that case, I guess I'll keep it."
Yeah,
That's
no.
not helpful. So if you're
Check your
gonna,
emotions. Check your emotions.
yes,
Do you want
yes.
this or not? They say no. And if you can't part with it, then you take it yourself.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. You need to be a there as a support, but probably not to offer too much advice or input, especially if your input is it's like, why are you throwing that away? You should keep it.
I just might offer my daughter some sushi in the process. We'll have sushi. I'll bring sushi in for lunch if you come.
Exactly.
I'm not beyond the bribery. I'm
Oh,
so
no,
not beyond the
absolutely
bribery.
not.
All right. So great tips. You gave us your 5 reasons that prevent people from getting organized, how to get your kids to get their adult stuff. I love the tips. And at the very beginning, you really did start by sharing what's really important to a lot of the women in my Moms Who Dare community and this show. Like, how do I know what I want to be when the kids leave? What do I do?
Mhm.
And I think the biggest takeaway for me, and please add if you want, is recognizing your your gifts, your talents, your qualities that make you you. Not
Mhm.
necessarily and unique, but what are your skill sets? Tap into your skill sets. And that was the menopause moment coming back to me. I had a conversation with women who specifically help women re-enter the workforce. And
Mhm.
I remember her saying, if you've been a full-time mom at home, make a list of your skill sets. Were you PTA president?
Mhm.
That's leadership. That's managing time. We're time managers. We're calendar organizers.
Mhm.
We organize fundraisers. We're fundraisers. So tap in your skill sets, which is what you did. And
Mhm.
it's so rewarding. There's so much possibility and opportunity waiting in empty nest. I mean, look at the organization you've built, Janet. It's wonderful. And aren't your kids so proud of you?
They do say that, which
Yes.
I'm always amazed. They'll say, "Oh, you're such a role model." I'm like, right, okay.
Yes. They're
And yeah,
watching.
yeah,
They're
that's
always
very
watching.
touching.
So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, Janet, nobody gets out of the Beyond Emptiness podcast without daring our audience to do something.
Mm.
And daring, is all about stepping out of your comfort zone, trying
Mhm.
something new, because when you do, no matter how large or small, you have a breakthrough. Something awesome happens. So, what is your dare for our audience today?
I feel like we already touched on it. And mine is just dare to do something you've not done before. And
Yeah.
like you said, identify those skill sets and then just try. But if you think of like, oh, I want to do this great big thing over here, it might be just too daunting. So just take the first step. And this is a great quote from Bill Gates. He says that we underestimate, or is it, hold on, we overestimate what we can accomplish in 1 year, but we underestimate what we can do in 10. And I
Mm.
think that's absolutely excellent. For a lot of us, we'll go, oh, I'm going to get so much done in a year. Then we'll look back and we'll go, oh, we'll just feel bad because we didn't get enough done. So, as for my business, we take on one large, big company goal each year and we attack it. And it's always something that I absolutely hate to do.
Yeah.
So I have the accountability of people on my team, and we attack it together. And those things wouldn't get done had it not been for the accountability and the fact that we'd only take on one really big company goal each year.
I love
And we pace ourselves throughout the year. So find something that you just want to try to do and then take a small step.
I love it. It's a great dare. That is really the core of what daring is as it relates to what I talk about and for the moms who dare. So thank you. Great dare. Bring it back to the dare basics and just try one thing. Identify one thing that maybe you've always just wanted to try and do, or maybe it's something you used to do that you walked away
Yeah,
from. That's the
exactly.
way to. And just try it. Take a little bite out of it. Take a little chip away. I love it. Thank you, Janet. Thank you for the
Oh,
conversation.
absolutely. It was
So appreciate
wonderful
it.
to be with you today.
Oh, I love this. I love the conversation. I always meet amazing people like yourself, and you live in my area, so wh who knows? There could be an organizing moment for the two of us sometime soon. All right, everybody. So, what was your takeaway? What was your takeaway from this episode? Let us know. Leave us a review. 5 stars are always appreciated. Just saying. Leave us a review. Let us know what your takeaway was. And don't forget, there are many more episodes, over 100 episodes waiting for you. So check out some of our past episodes. And don't forget to tune in next week for a brand new episode of Beyond Empty Nest. As always, dare on. Love this episode of Beyond Empty Nest? Head to jodysilverman.com for full show notes and more fun resources. Hey, are you feeling stuck? Like every day is just Groundhog Day? It's time to shake things up with my 30 doable dares. These simple, fun challenges will get you moving, boost your mood, and spark that sense of accomplishment that you've been craving. Doing something new can transform your mindset and build your confidence. Are you ready to dare yourself? Click the link in the show notes and start today. Let me know which dares you took action on so I can celebrate with you. Dare on.